Thanks for tuning in to Electric Bike Journal. Today, we're trying to answer the question, which type of cargo bike is better? A long-tail cargo bike or a short wheelbase utility style cargo bike?
To help us understand the differences between those, we have two offerings from Velotric, which is the long-tail version, the Velotric Packer 1, and the smaller, shorter wheelbase, the Go 1. We have done a tech check on each one of these bikes, so if you want to see more in-depth on each one of these bikes, click the descriptions down below. But right now, we're going to do a quick overview before we compare the bikes side by side.
Helping us define a long-tail cargo bike is the Velotric Packer 1. Now this is a long-tail cargo bike with a really long deck in the rear there. The intended use with a Packer 1 or a long-tail cargo bike would be to be used as a hauler, being able to put kids in the back, as you can see with the kid seat, the bolus ride. It keeps everyone safe on the back of the bike there. This specific one has a 750 watt motor, so plenty of power to help haul kids around. Equally, longtails can be used as a typical cargo bike, but you are going to see them becoming more useful and more beneficial for people looking to haul kids around. The Packer 1 uses a 26-inch front wheel with a 20-inch rear wheel to maintain a low deck height. Up front, there's also a suspension fork, so you do get some extra comfort and cush while riding as well.
This is the more utility-focused bike, which is the Velotric Go 1. This has a much shorter wheelbase than the other one. It still has a rear deck on here, but not as long. It does have 20-inch wheels, and this bike specifically has a 500 watt motor. You are capable of putting a basket on the back for cargo. There also is some mounting points on the front if you want to put a front basket. You may also be able to fit a person on the back here if you take this basket off. There is a small deck to put some accessories on there so you can ride around with someone if you really need to.
And when it comes to comparing the Go 1 and the Packer 1 and the difference between a long-tail and more utility, shorter wheelbase style cargo bike, it kind of was difficult for us to figure out the best way to help share which one is better, because they both have a purpose and I think an intended user. So to start that off, we were thinking about the family, somebody that has kids, multiple kids, a single kid. And I think that the Packer 1 between the two is a better solution for the family-oriented person that's looking for a cargo bike. Being able to put one or two kids on the back, having that extra space back there. If it is just one kid and one's older and not in a car seat, there's still space for them and you still have the basket up front. Plus you generally are getting a larger motor. The Packer 1 does have a larger motor than the Go 1, but most long-tail cargo bikes are coming with a larger motor and you're able to get that power you need for that extra weight that these bikes are going to get. Additionally, between these two specifically, the Packer 1 does have a higher load capacity. It's a little bit more strong in the frame in the back intentionally for that extra weight. And I think between the two, with these two specifically, that larger wheel up front makes it a little bit more stable, a little bit more in control. So when you do have that weight back there and it's shifting, you are a little bit more in control because of that larger wheel size.
Yeah, not everyone is gonna need to be hauling around their family. So this smaller wheelbase size with the Go 1 and the smaller deck length, you still could put a passenger in the back if you really need to, but this is great for someone who just wants to ride around town and park easily in smaller spaces. You don't take as much space, but you can still haul full load of groceries on the back and even up on the front. And just, you know, kind of zips around. It handles nice. You can go in and out a little bit more without having the length, and it's just more compact. So if you don't need to haul a whole family around, or maybe you do, but you don't want to take them with you on the bike, this is a lot better for you.
To that point, even if you are by yourself and family isn't involved, but you do want to use it more as a vehicle replacement, I think both bikes really shine to take that on and be that for you. But if you really are someone that is taking a lot of things around with you, maybe toolboxes or just things you need for whatever your job is, the extra space of a long tail is definitely going to give you the opportunity to just take more or go for a larger grocery run.
Circling back to the sizes of these bikes, the Go 1 has the advantage of being much smaller than the Packer 1, as you can see here. It has that shorter wheelbase and it has that it's a little lower overall. So if you are a smaller person as well, this is a little bit easier to move around. It also weighs 10 pounds less with no accessories, coming in at 65 pounds. So it is easier to bring in a car or on a bike rack. A lot of bike racks now are having a bigger weight limit The longer bikes like the Packer One, harder to put on a bike rack. They're just long,
Yeah.
as you can tell. So this is a good advantage for those who want to be able to bring it with you if you want to go on a trip. Like I took this camping with me, loaded it up with stuff from the camp store, which was fantastic. And also if you live in the heart of a city and you don't have a full big garage 2-story longer bike, the Go One definitely wins in that category because you can park this in a tighter space. You can tuck it under something if you need to, or take that battery out and bring that upstairs before you bring your bike upstairs. Just that 10 pounds makes a big difference when you are going up some flights of stairs, or just parking it in your house if that's something that you need to do.
Having the opportunity to ride a bike from every category of cargo bike, you know, front loaders, long tails, short tails, mid tails, utility. There's a lot of different options in the cargo space, and that kind of has allowed us to decide what we like most about each type of cargo bike. Longtail bikes for myself, I like the preparedness. I happen to have a truck, so that long wheelbase, being able to load this up in the back of the truck to take it on drives or on trips is not an issue for myself. But riding this daily, going around town, having that extra space in the back was nice. In the summertime, when I didn't want to be cruising around in my car all the time and just make a smaller impact, the smaller utility bikes of the many that I've been able to ride was very convenient. It fits everywhere, tight streets, tight corners. You can get down any space you need, and you do have some great benefits with those smaller bikes. But just between the two, being prepared, picking up boxes that were getting shipped in or large grocery runs, I didn't have to worry about making another trip. I like that aspect. It freed up my mind, and I didn't have to drive my big truck around everywhere, which I'm okay with the larger vehicle already, so might as well make it have less impact.
For me right now, personally, contrasting to you, I just moved to a new house that has a smaller garage, so the smaller size bike of these smaller utility bikes with the shorter wheelbase, shorter tires are doing really well for me. It's just nice to be able to tuck that into a little spot in the garage, and then I can pull that out when I do need to run to the grocery store. I also don't have a very large vehicle, so it is nice to be able to bring the smaller bike and put it into my van. And I can also put this on a bike rack coming in at 65 pounds. So I have ridden a few of these longtail bikes and I do like them. It is nice to be able to have all that space in the back. But right now with the smaller amount of space and just having a smaller bike that I can still go do a grocery run store. I go to the post office often with this bike and just makes more sense for me right now. Not saying in the future I won't own a longtail bike like that, but for me, I'm going smaller utility bike at the moment. We hope this video helps educate you a little bit more about the differences between a longtail cargo bike and a shorter wheel-based utility cargo bike. If you want to learn more about these offerings from Velotric, we have the links down below in the description.
Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't yet, be sure to click subscribe. That will help us continue to grow this channel so we can keep offering informational videos like this to you, as well as bike reviews and all the other fun things we have on our website. Thanks again for watching. See you in the next one.